The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy G-Wade holding it down, G-Wade Podcast, and I'm kicking it alongside with my man Deacon. Dirty. And we have a special guest in the building, an expert, if you will.
Yes.
In the field of money, taxes, law, tax law, all that good stuff. Brian Joubert, a.k.a. Rich Boy, is in the building. What's happening?
Hey, man. Hey, look, it's a pleasure to be here again, brother.
No, man, you dropped a lot on us the last time you was here, and, it was only right.
Yeah.
To come back and talk some more, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's that time. It's
yes,
that
sir.
time. But what I always like people know is, like, I get a lot of requests around this time, and I think that's a great thing.
Yes, sir.
But we got to realize, though, man, that this is the stuff that you got to do all year long.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. And that's why we are not where we are financially, especially as a people, because we only focus on it during this one particular time. But what rich and successful people understand is June, September,
right,
December. You got to focus on your money all year round.
All year round. You're right about that. And I'm gonna say this: I've actually gotten way better at watching my money.
Yeah.
Because before, when your money was low, you'd be scared to look at the account because you don't feel like seeing $2 in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now, I got a couple more bucks in there.
Okay.
I feel comfortable. I feel good. I'm like, I got to watch my money.
That's a beautiful difference.
And this is what, some of the things that you spoke about last time you were here, because one of the things, that stood out to me, and I said this to even other people who've asked me the question, and I said what you said to me: do you want Buckhead or do you want Bankhead?
Yeah, exactly.
And it made me change prices over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's a mentality, though.
Yeah.
If anything, it's a mentality. And again, I'm not saying nothing bad about
Of
Buckhead,
course,
but
of
we
course.
definitely know that there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's
Well, they were saying Buckhead becoming Bankhead now.
Exactly, pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
People be acting over there.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing is like, you got to watch that. But we know the house difference and, just that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I love it, man. I love that, that I was able to impact somebody, at least, one person with that information.
Well, you affected me. I ain't gonna lie.
Because I tell you, but the beautiful thing about it is, man, is you walk different.
You're right.
You step different. When your money's different and you know you got money in the bank account. I tell people $20 is $20, but it depends on what you have, how you think about it. Because when you hurting and somebody say, man, it's gonna be $20. Ooh, 20?
20, you say.
20 spot? But when you good,
right.
when you good, $20, it's gonna be 20.
Right.
Oh, 20, that's it? I thought it was gonna be more than that.
Boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be more than that.
Right,
Here you go, man. So you walk different with your money right, though. So it's a beautiful thing.
You're right, man.
Yeah.
I was Joubert, and I saw him on his podcast, and he was saying something. He was on somebody's podcast or something, and somebody asked him this question. So how is it now, because he's making money, how does it feel now when you're talking to, dealing with business and all that? He says, well, your conversations his conversations on the phone are shorter.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I fully understood what he meant. It wasn't one of those, that's going to be 25,000. Oh, 25,000. All right, go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's short conversations. You ain't trying to figure it out.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
So once you, and I've been saying this, once you change your relationship with money, you deal with it differently.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we got to get into, man. It's just like, people talk about money. Money is not everything, and money is the root of all evil, and money is this. Let me tell you something. And I tell people this all the time. Money, lack thereof money, is the reason why most people are in positions they in. If you're depressed,
right.
If you basically unstable, if you down, if you isolated, and I'm not saying this is every case, but I guarantee you in most of these cases, money can solve that problem.
Absolutely.
Money can solve that problem. Yeah. Because a lot of times people get in those positions because they don't have and they can't do, and you can't live your destined life. So it puts you in a different state.
Yeah.
So, but if I was able to do what I want to do and travel when I want to travel, because you ain't
like
being,
you do.
You ain't being depressed while you're on the beach and
you're right
listening
about
to the
that,
waves.
Man. Yeah. Because you're trying to figure out what you're gonna do when you get back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. You really thinking about when I get back, how long I'm gonna be there before I go on my next trip.
Yeah.
And your mind don't have time to be cluttered. So your money can control a lot of stuff, man.
Right.
I'm not saying it's everything, But I guarantee you, if you do research and you say the reason why right now I'm in a funk, I'm down, or whatever, usually money can control that.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's like, oh, my kid's school coming up right now, I don't know if I got the money to pay for it because they ain't gonna be able to go back to school, and I just feel bad. Like if you had money, that wouldn't be an issue.
Wouldn't even be a thought.
You will be walking different. Like I paid my son tuition. Yeah, I went and took care of that. You know,
just nobody. Then you just telling them for no reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's different, man. So we really got to stop. You know, and I think sometimes it's lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and basically reprogramming a lot of it too when we come to money, because people. You know, our parents and everybody told, money is the root of all evil. And no, lack of money, because I've seen more people do evil shit without money than with money.
To get some.
Yeah, exactly. So lack of money is the root of all evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, well, let's back it up. So LB Tax and Business Advisors is your company.
Yes.
Over 25 years in business doing this thing, man.
Yes,
So you see, I used to be afraid of numbers. Like I used to fluster and get frustrated and all that kind of stuff. This years ago, math, all that kind of stuff. Simple math, no problem, but all that extra stuff, like don't be putting alphabets in my numbers. I used to just get, ugh. And one day I just said, you got to stop stop saying you're afraid of math or you hate math. And I started looking at it different. Yeah. Now I'm not saying I'm great, but I don't get twisted. I don't get flustered. I'm able to look at those numbers and like, I can figure this out. You know what I'm saying? But so 25 years, so numbers is your game.
It used to be. It's knowledge now.
No, okay.
It's knowledge. And the reason why I say that is because I used to be that person that would try to figure out something in my head before you would figure it out on the calculator.
Right.
But now, we got sophisticated software that does all the numbers for you. True. So now it's about knowledge now. So what I sell is knowledge, because now I still got to figure out strategies for the best way for you to save the money that you're earning. Yeah. So the software is going to add it up and do all those things. And the thing about it is you don't hate math. You just hate the kind of math you was dealing with. Okay. Because if somebody said, hey man, I'm going to give you, 50,000 and, if you count it up right, I'm gonna give you another 50. I guarantee you wouldn't hate that math.
Oh man,
I guarantee. Right. So basically, you'll count it up, and you'll be excited about counting it up because if you count it up right, they're gonna give you another 50. You ain't gonna be depressed by it. You ain't gonna be like, I don't like no man. I don't like this. Yeah, you gonna. So it's with everything. Like that's why I say it ain't that kids can't learn. It's the type of learning. Yeah. Because I know cats, and I use one of my boys as an example. Like, everybody always called him slow. He was in some of the slower classes, but he was one of the top athletes, quarterbacks. So you telling me you can learn a playbook this thick and tell me what everybody on the field supposed to be and what they supposed to do. It ain't that you can't learn. Yeah. Is that what you was learning didn't interest you. Gotcha. It's the same with math. So basically, if somebody told you to count money, and do all that's math, then it wouldn't be a problem. So again, it's just the type of math. So we got to really understand. We got to get into things, be it business, finance, economics, everything that you enjoy. Yeah. That you enjoy. Because absolutely. If I ain't no crypto stock person, that ain't gonna interest me. So I probably won't push as further. But I might look at something else from an investment side that's really my thing. And now I'm going to add the numbers a little differently. Yeah. And that's interesting you say that. And I guess I'm kind of jumping now because I had my little spiel that I was going to run through. But you said something. I've been really getting into this. Well, my mindset has really been getting into, dude, you really need to get into some more investments. Now, I have a little something, but I need to do some, some more type stuff. And so I've been getting my mindset in that. I've been watching TED Talks on finances and all this kind of stuff. Just getting my mind. Wrapped around it. And the cat that's, I think he's still locked up. The dude that went to prison, I think he may be in there for life. Wall Street Chapter? Boom. Oh, Wall Street, I don't know if it's Wall Street. Is it him? No, it's the other dude. Okay. It's another dude, unless that's the same dude. Black dude?
Black dude.
Young black dude?
Yeah. Oh, he home?
That's Wall Street, like with the beard.
Like, no, he got a clean cut, clean face. I wish I could think of his name. But I saw him on a TED Talk. Okay. And he was just dropping all this stuff. And I was just kind of watching his stuff. And I was like, man, he said the only thing that was for him was because he couldn't read at first.
Yeah.
That's why nothing really interested him. But once he learned to read, it started to make sense.
Yeah.
But somehow or another, he made sense of these investments, stocks, and all this kind of stuff. But so I've been getting my mind wrapped around that. And I know you talk about, because we're at this time of the year, the tax season. You talk about entrepreneurship, owning a business.
Yes.
And I remember you saying, even if you open it up for tax purposes, but you might become successful.
Exactly. Yeah. But all that, man, but that's still considered investments. Yeah. So like I tell people, that might be the investment that you like crypto and stocks and all that may not interest me, but entrepreneurship may. That's still an investment, and so we got to get into things that we really, really kind of understand, because we're going to do it a little bit more.
You'll do it a little different.
And the thing about it is we got to understand that we can't work our way to wealth.
Yeah.
You can't W-2 your way to wealth. It just don't add up.
No,
so you got to invest in something alternative other than a job to build wealth. And so we on this thing now as black people, talking about generational wealth. And I always say we don't have the slightest idea what generational wealth means.
Really means, yeah.
That means that my child's child gonna have that same money.
Yeah.
And no matter how much they blow it, each generation is still gonna be enough for each generation to blow it.
Wow.
That's
super soaker money.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's that kind of, is that Paris Hilton money.
Yeah,
She could go out and spend $8 million a year easily, and that was just the interest that the money that she inherited, carried on.
Yeah.
So when she give it to her child, she gonna be then spent crazy, but gonna have more money to pass along just because of interest.
Yeah.
And so that's the type of money when you start talking about generational wealth, but you got to do that through investing.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it through a job, because if somebody's paying you 50% of what you're doing 100% of the work, and they're paying you 50% of the money.
Yeah.
But you can't leave you can't leave no generational wealth.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You basically just hoping you don't leave no bills.
Yeah, you leave some debt.
Yeah.
You just hoping you don't leave no debt.
Exactly. Entrepreneurship is freedom. Is the way to freedom. I heard you mention that recently. Starting a business, you're saying that if you're going to do something either that you can do just for fun, or you have a real interest in that type of business. Like if you bake cakes.
Yeah, that would be something I would prefer. I'm not saying you can't do something that you don't have a passion for and make money, but it's easier. Most people who are super successful usually did something that they really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that for me to put in 16, 18 hours a day, a few days a week for something I don't enjoy, it's going to be hard.
It's going to be hard, yeah.
And so that's when it's going to be a lot more burnout coming to it. But if you really enjoy it, be honest with you, man, you could do 24 hours and don't want to quit.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And with you being and loving what you do, you've had those days like you be like, bro, let me shut it down. Let me get me some rest.
Yeah.
But you really don't want to.
Right.
When you get to that point, it's much easier to be successful. Because your heart and soul go into it. And whenever you put your heart and soul into something and you put consistency behind it, eventually it's going to manifest into what you want it to be.
Yeah.
But I'm like, people see people making money. And I tell people this all the time. They say, well, I put stuff out there. I know people with radio networks and they say, oh, well, I have people who got shows and they decide they want to go off on their own. I said, they ain't going to make it. I said, because they don't understand what you put into this.
Yeah.
To get to this point where you're able to have other shows.
Facts.
I say the reason why we make, a lot of people try to jump on other people's bandwagon because you make it look easy.
Yeah.
You make it look easy.
Yeah,
So people come in here and they be like, damn, this set up good right there. The cat asking these questions and damn, like, I could do this.
Yeah.
But again, they ain't gonna put the work into it that you put. Like, they looking at the after effect of what you done already accumulated. They ain't looking at these late nights and all these different things and the sacrifices you made to get your equipment.
Yeah.
And so it's a whole different ballgame. I tell people, don't worry about that. Don't worry about nobody trying to do this. Do you?
Yeah.
Do what you enjoy. And eventually it's going to come to that point, where you'll be all right.
Right. Now, when you were here last time, we talked about the PPP loans, EIDL loan, all that stuff. I forgot what the other one was. It had something something with the word target in it.
Well, that's the target EIDL. That's the second amount that they was trying to give people the advance, like people who missed the advance the first time.
Yeah.
They were trying to give people that. Yeah.
So how for the people who received anything of that kind in 2021, what effect do they have now during tax season in terms of claiming it, paying it back, ...
Well, nothing yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet. It's still having, like, this has been, like, I tell people the PPP loan is the easiest money black folk gonna get from the government.
Wow.
You know, because a lot of people got a lot of money from the PPP, but the forgiveness process was so easy.
Gotcha.
Like, the government ain't never made it this easy for black folk, where you able to, where they gonna give you $20,000 and you got to answer 5 questions and they say, okay, you don't owe it no more.
Wow.
That's basically was the process, where they was calling you, harassing you to do the application to forgive the loan.
Yeah.
So if you have not forgiven your loan and you end up paying the PPP back, you need to be slapped twice. You need to be slapped by everybody you come in for at least a month.
They gave you every opportunity.
But they gave you every opportunity where they beg you to go and do this.
Wow.
You know, with 5 questions and forgave the money. You know, and that's crazy. So the EIDL, which is going to be the problem, that's
okay.
like I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. Because I'm just thinking it's going to be an ugly situation, but you don't have to pay it back yet. I think this year is where they may have to start paying it back.
Okay.
Well, I think it's going to be ugly in the sense of 70% of people ain't paying that shit back. People ain't paying that back, man.
Right.
And I say that because, first of all, so many people, I believe, got it fraudulently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And so with that, when you start talking about all the people that got it that way and now don't have businesses, no longer in business, you know, and so now if you're telling me, now they're giving you 30 years to pay it back, and we're going to use $20,000 as a number. Even if you got $20,000, let's say that your monthly payment is $150 a month on that. You know, on that one, let's say 100.
Yeah.
That means now that $20,000 is probably gone. And in most cases, I would say probably about 80% of people money's gone at this point. You got to pay back $100 a month for something that you don't have or can't use no more.
Right.
Most people ain't going to do it.
Not going to happen.
It ain't going to do it. You might do it when they say pay back, it's time to pay back. First few months, I'm going to pay it back. I had the money. I used it, you know. But after a while, you know, it's going to get tight. And then you got to talk about, now I got to come up with $20,000 to pay it back to not have to pay this $100 a month.
Yeah.
I got 30 years to do it. You ain't paying $100 a month for 30 years.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and so most people are going to just stop paying it. And you talking about people got a lot of money. Like, I'm using 20 as a small number.
Right.
So just think if I got to pay $350 a month.
Wow.
You know, every month for something I can't use no more, don't have.
Right.
So what's going to happen is all of these people not realizing their social is tied to this. So now what it does is it jacks up your credit. So if you got 80% of people going to default on this loan, all these people credit is jacked up now. No buying power.
Yeah.
So we got no buying power. And where we're going to lose out as black people is we have the less resources than anybody.
Right.
So that means if our credit is bad, we don't have no money in the bank, we can't go get a house. We can't go get a car. We can't get things that we need to make moves with.
Yeah.
And other communities have resources to where they can go to grandma, grandpa.
Yeah.
Dad gonna give me $20,000 to put down or buy a car. We don't have those.
Yeah.
And so we gonna get hurt by this the most, man. You know, and so it's gonna be ugly. That's why I say if the IRS, not the IRS, but the government is gonna have to come up with something to either forgive, to modify, or something. You know, so
you mentioned, you know, like purchasing homes and all that kind of stuff, and I heard you say something in regards to owning a business, and how does profit, reporting a profit or reporting a loss play into that? Because you mentioned about home buying, that, you know, I guess real estate agencies, they're going to look at this, or the loan agencies looking at just like, you claiming all these losses, how can we give you the money?
Well, that's big right now, though. That's extremely big, because people are really pushing ownership. And so what happens is you're seeing, and the reason why I say it's big, because as you get older, you start adulting.
Right.
You already knew that you want to get a home and stuff. But then you have a situation where more people have businesses now than they normally do. So they write off all of the expenses. But now young people are pushing millennials and buying homes young and understanding the home ownership. And, and so this is a common problem because you got more people with businesses, but you got more people buying homes. So now you got a situation where people are like, all right, I'm going to write off all of this so I can get a bigger refund, not thinking about the bigger picture. And so it is causing a problem.
Yeah.
And I just I met a new marketing guy, not a marketing guy, but a mortgage guy last night at the networking event I was at. And he was like, somebody introduced him. He's like, hey, bro, I need you like right now. He said, I got a lady that's trying to get a house, but she rolled off everything on her business. He said, I'm calling you tomorrow. And I get this from a lot of lenders and stuff. And so a lot of my clients now, man, are lenders and banks and, finance people because this is a common problem. Brian, I need you to, redo this. So this is why I say it's so important that and when you go into business, you go into finances, you start getting older, you start looking at the people you surrounding yourself and you utilizing for your services a little bit better because there's tax preparers and there's tax professionals.
Right.
And so in strategies, I call myself now a tax strategist because we're going to look at strategies to actually help you get the house, but not have to pay a lot in taxes.
Right. So what about, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what about if people have been doing that, writing off these losses, and looking to move forward with purchasing a home, how do they reverse it? Like, what needs to be done? You know what I mean?
You have amendments.
Okay.
So I can go back and I can do an amendment. And what I do is, like, for whatever losses that I wrote off, I'm going to have to modify those losses.
Okay.
So say, for instance, I wrote off $20,000 in losses. I might have to take $15,000 of those losses off.
Okay.
I spent a lot on mileage or supplies, but I can't write off all those supplies because it's going to hurt me, and so the problem is when you go back after the fact, because see what happens is if I have to go back and amend now and take some of those losses back, what I have to pay is I have to pay back what I got as a refund plus what it would have been.
Right. Gotcha.
And so it really, and most people need 2 years of tax returns. So now that means 2 years. So now if you go back and say, well, how much I got to pay back? $8,000 now. That's $8,000 for 2 years. So that's $16,000 that I wasn't even planning for. And so this is why you got to have people that are strategists because even before you file, they can, and like I say, going back, you know better going forward, but going back, that's your situation.
Yeah.
But going forward, you got somebody on your team that's asking you, well, what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
And you say, well, I'm buying a house next year or in the next 2 years, and say, all right, well, this is how you got to position. So even if I owed $8,000, at least I know now ahead of time. So now I can plan for it. But that shock after the fact, boy, it's ugly. Like, it's ugly.
Yeah. Well, what about a person who has a business and, writing off the losses, but they also have a job, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How does that, does anything balance out in any kind of way?
Yeah, it could. It depends on where your W-2 income is.
Gotcha.
Because it's some people that can take losses. Because if I make just say $150,000 on my W-2 job, and my business shows a loss of $20,000, now that's going to bring my W-2 income down to $130,000.
Gotcha.
But $130,000 may still be enough to qualify.
Okay.
The problem is when people basically make $70,000 and they write off $20,000 and it brings the income down to $50,000.
Yeah.
And so now at $50,000, I can't qualify because they're saying that's not enough. So that's where you got to look at the situation and say, well, no, you can't afford. I know you spent a lot on those deductions, but maybe, if you can't verify certain ones, then we ain't gonna be able to write those off.
Yeah.
And so you got to be strategic in that as well. And again, W-2 people, it all depends because I'm gonna get a nice refund if I'm making 70 and I write off 20. That may help me get back a bigger refund. But again, the long haul is going to be detrimental.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the write-offs, I heard you mention, you said something about 100%, like mileage, cell phones, lunches and dinners, that sort of thing, where I guess the write-off is 100%?
Well, the meal and entertainment went to 100%.
Okay.
It was at 50%. That means if I take somebody out to lunch, dinner, any of those things, I used to write off 50% of that meal.
Gotcha.
But now I can write off 100%.
Okay.
Which is big, because a lot of people do take people out to eat lunch, and so that's good. And it's one of the things they try to do to help small businesses and help individuals kind of recoup some of their money.
Yeah.
The mileage rate is basically you can do 56% of each mile. So which is big because I tell people even 10,000, just think in Atlanta, you do a lot of driving. So even if you did 10,000 miles, which is not a lot, you get 56 cents a mile, which is $5,600.
Right.
That's a good write-off, and so we just got to understand, first of all, what can we write off? Secondly, how do we keep track of it?
Yeah.
Because if I write off $5,600, that's a legitimate thing. And see, this is the thing that people don't know. And this is where strategy, knowledge, experience comes in at. That's one of those what we call a give back expense.
Okay.
Because see, even if I reduce my income and reduce my taxes, and they say, all right, well, you can't qualify, the beauty of that is mileage adds back in. So that means that if I show $20,000 loss, it's not going to reflect the whole 20. It's going to reflect like 15 because I wrote off 5,000 a mile.
Gotcha.
And see, the mileage is the part that actually don't come out of pocket. So that's why it buys back in.
I gotcha.
The same with depreciation. So you got to know where to give people expenses and deductions at as well. And that can help them because I can have, depreciation and mileage of $15,000, but it won't count against my income.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does gas play a part in that in any kind of way?
Yes. And the reason why I say mileage, because you can do either one.
Gotcha.
You can do gas or you can do mileage. Now, gas falls under what we call actual expense.
Gotcha.
Actual expense would be your gas, your maintenance, those type of things. Any tire changes, oil changes, repairs,
Gotcha.
Any of those things. But again, repairs are usually not as much on your car to maintain unless you got replace an engine or replace a transmission. You get something that's really, really big, and then the gas, we don't spend as much as we think we do compared to mileage.
Right.
Because you may say, man, I spent a lot on gas. I said, well, how much did you spend? Our guy added up. It was about $1,200 for the year, But again, the mileage.
50,000 miles.
Yeah, the mileage. So if you rode 20,000, that's 10,000.
Yeah.
You don't normally come close because tell people most part for a month you might spend $150 a month at the most. That's $1,800. It's still not gonna be so. Your mileage, especially if you do a lot of driving, your mileage is usually gonna come out much better than your gas.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So now Cash App, and I guess all the other ones are now like they're starting to come a knocking.
Yes, sir.
What prompted that, and how does that affect us Cash App and Venmo and whoever else users?
That's gonna be big. This is why I'm
be afraid. Be very afraid.
Well, I would say be proactive. You don't have to be as afraid as you are proactive. And the reason why I say that is because if you get somebody that you talk to now, like we in February, this is coming.
Yeah.
Don't wait till December and say, well, Brian, what I need to do? Because they're going to send me a
Yeah.
Like, what you need to do is pray at this point. you need to pray at this point because ain't nothing to be done for you. So right now is the thing. But that's one of the most significant changes, man. And what prompted, first, before I go into the details of it, what prompted is that we missing millions and hundreds of millions of dollars as the IRS.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, if everything's going under the table, we already know. And see, for years, I've been telling people in the hair industry, like they've been trying to crack down on that industry forever barbers, stylists, whatever, because they said that was the biggest tax gap. And the tax gap is basically a situation where the amount of money that's not being made but not being reported, so we're losing taxes. Their estimated amount that they had been losing is about $375 million.
Wow.
In revenue, basically because stylists and barbers and stuff wasn't reporting. Now, I'm not ratting on nobody. I'm just saying their reasoning. I ain't saying, and look, people going to hear that and say, well, you saying they not report. I'm not saying they don't report. I'm just saying the IRS said y'all not reporting.
right.
You know,
they said, right?
Yeah, you know, IRS said y'all. So my thing is, my clients reporting.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I don't know what everybody else doing.
Right. So is Cash App kind of and all the others considered like like cash is under the, you know, you can
that's income. That's business income.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear people say, well, if it's cash, I don't have to report it now. Yes, you have to report
what happened
it.
To Red Fox?
Yeah, exactly. It's your business income. Now, the only thing I'll say is that, yes, you have to report it, but they don't know because it's cash.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but no, you technically have to report it. So same as cash, because it ain't no different than you receiving money for your business through a credit card. Mm-hmm. You still have to report that. So the same thing with that. But again, the rule change, and this is why so many people gonna get hit, because people really gonna not pay attention to this. Like the rule change, man, from it was you used to have to get $20,000 in transactions or 200 transactions on each individual one for them to give you a statement.
Gotcha.
So again, most people never got a statement because some people say, well, I did 20,000, but you didn't probably do 20,000 on Cash App. You probably did some on Cash App, some on Venmo. So you didn't do 20 on one particular one.
Gotcha.
So that's why you never got a statement. You didn't do 200 transactions on one particular one.
Right.
So you never got a statement. Now, don't get me wrong. This don't mean that you wasn't supposed to do it, because if you got a business and you getting money, you're supposed to report that money.
Right.
They just had no way of knowing.
Okay.
But what they're doing now, they switched it from $600 from 20,000 to 600.
That's a major.
That's major. That's one transaction for somebody.
And
that one transaction, so from that 200 now to one.
Yeah.
So now you basically getting a statement now.
You're getting a statement, yeah.
You know, and so now it's really, and see, the thing about it is you're going to have some people going to say, well, what I want to do is I'm going to start reporting, you know, I'm going to start asking my clients for more cash. You know, that way people don't carry cash no more.
You're right.
You know, I'm still the only person that pretty much may carry some cash.
Man, I'm down the street one night about a week ago, and I'm ordering some food. Dude standing at his car, he's yelling something to me because I'm standing outside, and he's saying something, and I feel like he was saying something about money.
Yeah.
And I tapped my pocket. I was like, man, I'm cash poor, man. I ain't got no money. You know, got no cash. I'm like, oh, he was selling something. And I said, I'm cash poor, man. I ain't got no money on me. He's like, man, I take Cash App. Now, I'm laughing. The reason why I'm laughing about the Cash App, not because he's taking Cash App, he was selling snacks out his trunk. Even the snack man doing Cash App.
He gonna get a 10 out of
I
that.
saw that dude online, man.
Oh, he got a store in his trunk.
Yeah, on the south side. Yeah, I saw that dude online.
But I'm gonna tell you, like, it's so crazy because where was I? I was in Philly. I was in Philly, and I was actually filling up my rental car, and I pulled up. So a young cat came to me. He said, "Hey, mister, is it possible I can pump your gas for you, man?" I said, yeah. I said, go ahead, little brother. You know, I said, nah, man, I want to see you out here making some honest money, you know, blah, blah. So I said, I think I got some cash in here. He said, well, I take Cash App. Like, this dude just pumping gas, bro. This young fella just pumping gas, and he said he take Cash App.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's going to be big, you know, because you're going to have a lot of people that don't carry cash no more, and they're going to say, all right, know what, little brother, I'll give you $5. But those $5 going to eventually for a whole year add up to after 6. He's going to be 14 years old with a statement.
From pumping gas.
Pumping gas.
Yeah, so, and that's $600 for the year.
For the year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's for the year.
So in other words, I need to be getting me a $500 haircut. Is that what you're telling me?
pretty much. But no. And see, the thing about it, like, again, is that nobody's being proactive with it.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm telling people, like, we just ignoring it. But it was going to take for it to hit you. It's going to take or to get you now when you get a statement and it said, all right, 15,000, 20,000 on that statement. You're like, hey, they ain't never sent me no statement, you know, before, blah, blah. And now and you file taxes on it, and now you got to owe $1,500 or so. Now you pissed.
Yeah, man.
You pissed because this is the new norm.
Are they doing it this way because obviously, like you said, you can't track cash, but all these electronic.
Yeah. It's on paper.
It's on, yeah.
It's on paper. Anything on paper, believe me, they got and now, but you got to attach it to something.
Yeah.
You know, you got to attach. So that's either attached to your social, your tax ID number, or the bank.
Yeah.
or the bank.
Either way.
So either way, they got a way to find out, you know, what you getting, you know, through those sources. But it's a tracking system, you know, because they know they losing, you know, and that's the thing. And so the next industry, they really trying to get this crypto industry, you know, but they getting that, they finding a way. Like people call me and they say, Brian, I got this thing, some transactions. I was like, oh yeah, you do some transactions, you cash out. Yeah, you on paper.
Dang.
I say, you on paper now. And what they're doing is trying to hold us accountable because now in our software, they asking the question. They're asking us to ask you.
Yeah.
You know, did you trade any digital virtual currency?
Yeah.
So now they want to ask. So if we click yes, you might already be under the radar. You know, and so if we click no, I can't be lying on the sense, you know, and so somebody gonna get jammed up somewhere.
It ain't gonna be me.
You know, and so now they going through every avenue, man, to try to track, you know, this money now.
Yeah. Was it you that said it, or was somebody that you were talking to? They said something about positioning themselves to, they either bought a building or positioning themselves to buy a building for their business. Okay. Was that you? Yeah, that was you. Okay, yeah. So how does that work in this scheme?
Well, again, what we got to understand, and we're small-minded thinkers, you know, as black people. And the reason why I reference black people a lot of times, though, is not that I'm not anti anybody. I'm just pro-black. I just want to see my people done. I really don't have a whole lot of interest in what happens in other communities.
I got you.
You know, because we got to take care of us before we take care of, you know, anybody else. So, and I want to see us win. And we're not going to be respected and get the type of respect and value until we really come together and we pool our resources. Yeah. We become economically strong. That's what people respect, economics. You know, and so I try to get us not to look at the smaller side of things, and I say this, and I tell people I'm transparent in this situation. Like when I was qualifying to get the building, the way I filed my taxes and stuff, I had to pay maybe like $28,000.
Okay, but
my thought process wasn't even 28. My thought process was $1 million. Like I didn't even see that because I'm like, if it's going to allow me to acquire a building that now eventually can be worth $1 million as an asset.
Right.
So me trading 28,000 for $1 million.
Yeah.
But I had to show income on my taxes.
Right.
Because ain't nobody going to give me nothing. Nobody's going to finance nothing if I ain't showing I can pay that back.
You can pay it back, right.
So my thing is all right, let me show you I can pay it back. Because, see, I can always take that building and finance, take the money out, pay off the 28. Yeah. I don't owe the government nothing. And now I got a whole asset that can become generational wealth now.
Right.
It can build now. I got equity in it. All of those things. So you got $1 million asset that you can now pass along, but it's also income generating. This is how we have to think. We got to stop looking at the 28.
Yeah. Because that's the sticker shock right there.
Yeah. We got it. Because see, the thing is, you can always set up a payment plan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You can always set up a payment plan. If you basically say, I can't afford no $28,000.
You shut it down.
Yeah, go ahead and pay a payment plan and pay $500 a month on that 28. Like, you ain't going to pay the whole thing off anyway. You might make a year's worth of payments. Refinance, pull the money, and pay off that. You know, and so it's strategies to this.
I got you, yeah.
But we got to stop thinking of the small part of it. You know, we got to start looking at, because you'll never really own nothing. You ain't going to never create that generational wealth that we keep talking about. Because generational wealth is passed down through assets, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear people saying they worked all of this money, they don't necessarily have cash all the time. It's things that they own that if they was to sell it, it would be worth all of that. Gotcha. And that's what we got to learn. That's what we got to think. We got to understand assets, man. You know, and that's one of the things I try to talk to my people about is assets now. Let's own some stuff. Because when you own stuff, you have leverage. And if you have leverage, people treat you different.
Absolutely.
People treat you different because if I got a leverage, that means I have somewhat of an advantage over you, or I have something you need. And if I have something you need, you're going to probably humble yourself a little bit more to me.
Yeah.
And this talking with other people as well. This is why the Jay-Z's and the Master P's and all of them can sit in these rooms with these white executives. Because I got something
They
you
got
need.
something, yeah.
So I can come in there and talk to you. Like, under normal circumstances, baby ain't going to nobody's boardroom. Now, that's my homie.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
baby ain't going to sit down at the same table unless you need something from me.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Snoop ain't going to go in your boardroom and smoke weed in your boardroom, while we having a meet unless I know I can get something from you because he created leverage.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and what they're doing is they offering him the lighter. They offering him the lighter.
Yeah.
But now I can talk sporty.
He can talk. Yeah.
I can talk a little sporty to you now.
Yeah.
Because I've built leverage.
Yeah.
And until we build leverage, we ain't gonna never be on equal playing fields.
Wow. So, what do people have to look forward to? If they start from scratch, and they're saying, okay, I want to start a business. The long-term goal is to buy a building,
Okay.
operate their business, and maybe even use it to lease out, that sort of thing. Like, what's the steps to these things? What should somebody be preparing for right now for the long term? Like Tyler Perry started somewhere, but now he has all of this
because he found something that he was passionate about, that he didn't have to trade his time for money. See, when you trade your time for money for a job, it's going to be hard for you to build that. But even if you do, you got to be, I don't care what it is, if it's a job, if it's a business, every money you make, you got to put some of it aside. So when you start talking about starting to position yourself, this whole pay yourself first is real.
It's real, yeah.
Pay yourself first and start putting that into investing, something that can say, because what happens is I might now save $5,000, but I can leverage that $5,000 and go get a line of credit against the $5,000. They might just give me $5,000 on my $5,000, but now I got $10,000.
Gotcha.
But what if I need the equipment to take something to the next level? I got $10,000 to do it. Or if I take that eventually and leverage that 10 and get 20 or 30 now because I got history with them. So now I got $30,000 that I've leveraged through the bank. That $30,000 now puts me in position to start making some moves now. So it may be not a building right away. It may be an investment property.
Gotcha.
Because if I got $30,000 liquid, believe me, I can get an investment property. But in that whole interim, I'm working my credit. Because see, even if I needed to get something, I used the 30 as a down payment. But I got great credit, it's going to allow me to get something that maybe I got $150,000 to $200,000 value in that. I take that now, I make that income producing.
Okay.
If it becomes income producing, a rental property, a multi-unit, or whatever, now if it's income producing, it probably have some type of value. It's an asset now.
Gotcha.
I sell that asset at a profit of $150,000 profit. Now I might be in a position to buy a building.
Okay.
So you really just got to be intentional. It don't matter how small you are. You got to be intentional about starting to put some things away.
Gotcha.
And I tell people, when people say, well, I don't really have no money to invest, I tell people, if you got money, if you got taxes, you got money.
You got money.
Because I guarantee you, somewhere in there, I can show you how you got an extra $100, $200 a month tied up in your taxes.
Yeah.
You know, and so I talk to people who have W-2s, and we got to change their mindset, because I say, well, this is what you can do to keep more of your money, bring money home, and you can put more money into investing or saving. Well, if I do that, but I ain't going to get no big refund at the end of the year, right? No, because you're getting your money now.
Right.
Oh, I be liking my big refunds. I be like, you know, but
it's something about that lump, though. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but that lump is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, in most cases, you get the lump and you got to pay off all the shit that you couldn't pay throughout the year.
Facts, though. Yeah.
So that lump is pretty much gone. You know, for the most part.
Yeah.
That lump is gone. So the key basically to building wealth is make your money make money.
Yeah.
So if I got an extra $200 tied up and each pay period, I put that into investment. That $200 is making money every month now.
Yeah.
Then I put a $200 in the next pay period. That $400 is making money.
Yeah.
So at the end of the year, I got $2,400, $3,000, $3,500 making money.
Making money, yeah.
This is how you create freedom. Freedom is most people's ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Financial freedom, social freedom, spiritual freedom, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal. That's how you create the freedom. But that lump is good, but that lump basically is killing you. Because again, it's tight all year long.
It's tight all year long.
It's tight. So now I can't I'm scared to make moves. I don't want to do anything because I don't know how my money gonna play out.
Right.
You know, man. But even if I put that money aside and I had an emergency, the most comforting thing is know when some shit happen, you can pay for it.
You can pay for it. Yeah.
Man, that's a good feeling.
Absolutely.
That's a good feeling.
Absolutely.
So even though that was supposed to be for a year down the line, that was supposed to be, but still that I have it.
Yeah.
That's a comforting feeling.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what I was saying. And I thank God because I started telling people you got to change your relationship with money. You got to change your relationship because that's what I had to tell myself. And you stated
from the beginning.
Yeah, I said I had to tell myself that it's like you got to look at this money different. You got to stop saying this is just $20 and then goes because once you break a 20. You got nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I started saying, you know what? Forget that. I know what I'm going to do. And this is the way I just had to start tricking myself into doing it. I said, if I bust a 20 and I got 4 7 ones coming back from it, I'm putting them ones in a little envelope at home. I'm just put it in it. And I just started doing it. And just started saving ones. And I looked back and I was looking at this little stack and I was like, I mean, it wasn't thousands of dollars, but I was like, okay, wait a minute. I just realized I started changing the way I'm looking at this thing. And so it started working with other ways of how
but you created the habit.
Yeah.
You created the habit and you saw it work. So then it starts manifesting in other areas of your life. And that's an excellent plan. And I commend you on that, bro. And the reason being, I've been doing this for over 10 years. I'm a cash carrier. The problem now is harder for people because they're not cash carriers no more.
Yeah.
But like you said, what I do is at the end of each day, every 1 in 5 that I have, I put it into an envelope. I even started doing it with 10s now. Nice. So any 1, 5s, and 10s, I've been, and I use it as my travel money.
Gotcha.
Any coins.
That's good.
Any coins.
Yeah, I keep coins too.
That I have. I use that as my casino money.
Okay.
So when I travel, I already have money set aside. Sometime other than maybe buying my plane ticket and stuff, I really spend no other money on the trip because now if you take the 1s and 5s and you say, I'm going to use this as my tip money, or if I purchase things under $10, I'm going to use this.
Yeah.
And you'll find yourself, man, going on a trip, coming back with, if you brought a couple of $100 in $100 bills or 50s or 20s, you don't even touch them.
Yeah.
Sometimes because those bills, and so this is easy ways to go on trips, man. This is easy ways. And it don't have to be that. You can say, because I tell people, have a fun account.
Yeah.
Have a luxury account to the sense of every now and then treat yourself. Go stay at the Ritz-Carlton for a day.
There you go.
And just lay out. But again, if you put this money aside, because like you said, you start looking at it before you know, you be like, damn, it's $400.
Yeah,
exactly. It's $300. Like, damn, like, and so now you you got money to do little things that you said you couldn't do that brings you joy. But you change your relationship with money.
I changed my relationship.
And so one of the things I told people years ago, and I used to tell my daughter when she was young, and I still do today, if I see a penny on the ground,
dude, you
if I see a penny, I'm picking it up.
Church.
And the thing is, I'm saying thank you, Lord, for blessing me.
Dude.
I'm saying thank you for blessing me. Because see, you know what it is? I'm not thinking about it as a penny.
Right.
I'm thinking about it as money.
Absolutely.
And so I'm blessed that I found money. And anything that you're appreciative of, you get more of it.
You're absolutely right about that.
That's just like I tell people with your woman. If you're appreciative of your woman, you're going to get more whatever she got to offer.
Absolutely.
And it's the same with money.
Yeah.
So the thing is, as I start appreciating money, not denominations, a nickel, a penny, and I say, thank you for letting me find money. I'm going to probably get more money, or my mindset toward money is going to change.
It's going to change.
You know, and so we got to understand, man. So you definitely did a big thing, and you see the fruits of it.
I see the fruits of it. And it makes me feel better because like you said, you walk different when you
walk different.
Like, I got an extra little $25. You know what I'm saying? I can do a little something. So I can go to Chick-fil-A now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you walk different.
I walk different. You walk different.
You don't have to have the little George Jefferson stroll.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You don't have take a girl to 2 for $20. You want to do Houston's, baby?
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you
you
splurge a little.
I like, we had to split no spinach dip. I like my own. I'm gonna get you get your.
You gonna get your taco appetizer.
Yeah. So you walk different when your money's different, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a fact. We already know because on payday, when people get payday, they go out and they spend it a little more because they got a little bit more money.
You know what always comes back to me with that friend of mine. He's more of a friend of mine, but he's a friend of mine. This is years ago, and I'm talking about years ago. I'm talking about we were like in high school years ago. I'm gonna say his name Day, but that ain't his real name.
Yeah,
Day.
don't put him out.
I remember him saying, and this has stuck with me since then. He says, man, you just said it just now. He says, man, we was just kind of kicking it. He's like, man, you know, his money be funny. You know, he's making a lot of money. He says, but when I get paid on my payday, I make sure I eat good. I go out, I treat myself to something good. It was just when he was saying it, I felt his passion when he was saying it. I was like, but it stuck with me ever since he said it. I was like, yeah, you got to treat yourself. Yeah. You got to, you know, you're dealing with a limited amount of money or whatever, but you got to know also how you want to spend it. You ain't just out there willy-nilly. He just said, I just treat myself to a nice meal on my payday, and I'm good. Yeah. And I'm like, that makes sense to me. Yeah. It just made sense to me.
But I'm going to tell you another component, though, man. Another component, you know, everybody say when you treat people good, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of your character. You get more things to come back to you, calmer. But when our money's different, we tip different. We make people days. So that means if my money is always better, I'm probably tipping more people.
Yeah.
So now I'm tipping the shuttle driver. When I try, I'm tipping the Uber driver.
Right.
You know, I'm tipping the guy that grabbed I'm tipping everybody now.
Yeah.
If I'm giving them a little something. So I'm making everybody's day. I'm bringing joy to so many different people.
Yeah.
And if it's a true statement that, you know, if you bless people, you're going to be blessed.
Absolutely.
If you make people happy, people going to make you happy. What you do to others come to you. If you doing all of those things and you really believe that, then you're going to have a hell of a life because money actually fueled that. Money basically gave you, because then you're going, where you normally would tip $2 or nothing, you might tip $5 because your money good.
You feel,
you know, and so
through feeling like a good fella.
Right.
you
know what I'm saying?
And so it all comes back. And if you believe that, so money, man, makes you do a whole, so money is important.
It's very important. You know, Kanye, I'm glad you said that because Kanye said, and I forgot which song it was, maybe you know the song, where he says, having money is not everything. Not having it is.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes so much sense. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's not everything, but not having it is everything. You know what I'm saying?
So I tell you, I'll try my luck with having it, though.
I'll go that route. Yeah.
Money, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to try.
I'll give it a shot.
I'm going to try the more money thing now, you know, and I'll take the problems. I'm just trying to figure out the problems that come with it. You know, and I've heard people say, well, you know, when you have money, you know, your people always begging and you got to learn no.
Yeah. And I want to take care of my family. Certain ones. You know what I'm saying? I want to take care of them.
And to a certain extent, I tell people, sometimes you basically got to disable.
Yeah.
You know, when you're able, you ain't always basically got to be abler.
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes you got to go ahead and because people will use you at any level, you know, family, parent, kinfolk, A1, friends, you know, and you got to learn that. So my thing is, that's the craziest thing, that you would rather not have money because you don't want to alienate people. Because if they true people, they're going to respect your situation.
Respect it. Absolutely.
You know, and then you don't have to worry about them, because if they true, you're going to probably take care of them anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and so my thing is that you got to learn, you got to learn that you can't save the world. And I sit down with a lot of people, man. I get some people that break down in my office because they are overwhelmed by people trying to come to them. And not only that, they're trying to help everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
You know, and I don't care how much money you have. That's not a good habit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a good habit. So we talk about, you know, you walk different, you do different when you have money. You still you probably get abused and used more than anybody when you have money, or the perception of it, you know, but you got to learn to say no. You got to learn, you know, that walk is different, and people will come and people will attract and all of these things, but that don't mean that you got to basically, you know, subside to that.
Yeah, true that. So what is the overall takeaway from what Brian Joubert is doing this year, 2022, that you want people to know, the biggest lesson that they should start implementing today into their money habits, their tax habits, their business habits? What should they know moving forward from today?
Well, the one thing I always tell people, be intentional about whatever you're doing, man. If you saying, you know what, I'm going to get my taxes together, be intentional. Take time out and say, Brian, let's get it done. Let's get it done. I don't care what it take to get it done. I got to get this right because it's stopping me from moving on. If you said, I'm going to start investing, be intentional. Like go in and say, I don't care what else is going on. If I got to put $25 a month away, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If I'm going to start building wealth, and if I got to get stocks and I got to put in $25 worth of stocks a month, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you're going to do basically to make your life better, be intentional, dive all in it, man, and change your circle of people. Like, you know, you got to change those people because everybody's not meant to go where you're going.
Yeah.
And when I talk about the tax professional versus the tax preparer, right now, if you're trying to make moves, you know, you buying a rental house or you bought a rental property just now or you doing something and the person that you've been dealing with can't help you and manifest you into the next level of that, then you're going to probably have to let them go. And I understand that's your mother-in-law. I understand that's your sister. But the thing is, if they can't give you their blessing, if they can't say, know what, I really don't know about that. You know, I don't know about the S Corp stuff, which that's really big. That's what I've been talking about, how to save and how you talk about buying and showing less money, but still, I mean, showing more money. And the S Corp thing and the LLC is big right now. And if somebody say, well, know what, I don't really know a whole lot on that. You know, you might need to find somebody. That's the blessing they should give you.
Yeah.
As opposed to say, oh, you just left me and, you know, so like you taking money out my mouth and my kids' mouth. No, then they wasn't for you in the long haul. And I don't care who it is. Yeah, because they don't want to see you win. Yeah. If they not giving you their blessing, if they can't help you do something that they know and you know that it needs to do to help you manifest to another level and you're not getting a blessing, you don't need them in your circle. Yeah. And it's okay.
Yeah, no.
That's the thing that we're scared of. We're scared that, you know, it's something wrong when we have to start leaving people and our circles getting small. Yeah. You know, it's okay. Success don't run in big circles.
You're right.
You know, success don't run in big circles.
Yeah.
Because it's not a whole lot of people that's genuine. So if you got 10 people in your circle, it's hard for me to believe that you got 10 genuine people. You know.
Yeah, ask Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right about that, man. But it's some good information, man. This was good. I've been just kind of peeping in on you and hearing little things. That's why I've been taking my notes. I'm like, I'm gonna ask him all these questions that I've been hearing him talk about, and this is really good. It, you know, it helps me to let me know that I'm headed in the right direction. I know there's still some things I need to really, you know, carve out right, you know, that kind of stuff, But
no, that's a beautiful thing. But that's why we got to surround ourselves with those people because that was my validation. I didn't have that community of people when I was making moves, but I watched a lot of videos. Yeah. So I was watching Jay, you know, Jay-Z, and I was watching Puffy, and I was listening to a lot of motivational speakers. And I'm like, damn, I was doing that before them. Right. I hadn't manifested financially where they at, but I was doing the same course. Gotcha. Yeah. You know, and I was doing some of the same things. I was making some of the same moves. Right. And so it just validated to me, like, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track. You just got to keep going. Right. Because as you keep moving, you're going to get to where you need to be. We all ain't going to get there at the same pace. Yeah. You know, that's the thing is we're not going to get there on the same pace. So you can't compare yourself to people in that situation.
And that's the thing that kind of hems people up because they start comparing themselves where they are versus where they are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because I already know that, first of all, I'm 30 years in the entrepreneur business. Now, I've been successful for a long time, but most people just seeing it. So if you've been following me on social media for 7 years, you thinking I just popped up on the scene, you know, and so you figuring like, shit, I've been doing it for 5 years. And like, why I ain't killing it like him? Because you ain't see the manifestation, you know, of everything, you know, and that's the thing is that we don't see. A lot of people are not good. Most people are good at showing the shine, but not the grind. Yeah. And if we have more people showing the grind, people will understand. Like, all right, I'm on the right track. It's gonna take some time. You know, it's gonna take some time. But you got to plant seeds now for 20 years later.
Right.
Because see, we hear all of the reports that it says it takes the average entrepreneur 20-something years to really reach their peak of success. The average millionaire is 55. It don't really become a millionaire until 55 or reach. You know, I just saw something the other day say the average man don't create financial freedom or get in a freedom place until they're about 53. And so people say, well, I got time. You know, I got time because those ages but no, you can't wait till you 53 to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it at 33. And all them seeds are being planted, going to eventually grow. And now at 53, you got an oak tree. You solid now.
Solid, man.
You don't have to do nothing because ain't nobody going to push you over because you got roots.
Yeah, facts.
You know, you got roots now. And so this is what we got to understand, that you got to start this 20 years ahead. You know, and I ain't saying it's too late for people that's older. You just got to be extremely intentional. You know, you got to be extremely, because you don't have as much time.
Yeah.
So now you might have to double up on some payments and sacrifice some stuff because you got it. Like I said, it's tied up in your taxes for one. Because if you learn, even on the business game, if you learn the LLC S Corp and stop paying double taxes, those double taxes you're not paying can go into investments. You know, so anything that you're doing can actually create a positive result if you're extremely intentional. If you say, you know what? It's $150 to get my hair done every 2 weeks. I'm not doing that no more.
Right.
Bro, I was blown away about 3 weeks ago. I was in the nail shop. I went and got a pedicure, and I was looking, and if I go get a pedicure, that means I looked at my feet and be like, bro, come on, bro, like your feet,
they cutting through your socks,
like, bro, yeah, like, no, that's when you have trouble putting your, and it keeps snagging, like, yeah, that's when, like,
right.
And I was late because I was trying to put my socks on. I would have been here 20 minutes ago, but I tried to get my, because you got to keep pulling it forward so it don't catch.
Right.
Yeah, so I was
That's
like, yeah.
funny.
So I went in there, and so when I walked in, the lady was already in there, and she was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's going to take care of it, you know, whatever. So when I finished, I said, don't worry. I said, I got hers. She was like, oh, you for real? I said, you ask, you never know. Bruh, them people said $95.
Wow.
You know, I'm thinking maybe 40 something.
Yeah.
They said 95. I said, did she get a new toe?
Right.
like
what y'all give her?
Bruh,
Yeah.
I was like, so she probably do this on the regular.
On a regular.
Don't tell me you don't have money.
So every 2 weeks she's spending $100.
If that's it, because some people may go once a week.
Once a week, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
know,
our eyes perked up when you said that.
bruh,
For real?
$95. This wasn't even a tip.
Dang.
You know, so
He got me, y'all.
like again, I said, no problem. I said, get it. So I just joked. I said, well, she got a new toe, you know? And so again, even if it was every 2 weeks, that's still $200 a month.
Yeah.
That's a good starting point, bro.
Absolutely.
Good starting point. I started with $25 a month with Primerica.
Okay.
You know, investing in mutual funds.
Yeah.
$200 is solid because see, even if we learn the insurance game now, that's one of the biggest games being played, the cash value insurance, where now you get tax-free money. That's what rich and successful people understand. You listen to them, they always talk about tax-free. You know, so they understand that, plus cash value, meaning now after a certain time, I'll be able to pull that money out, don't have to pay no taxes on it to fund my house, my business, my children's education, all of these things. $200 a month, you can start that.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
creates every old school, I ain't gonna say every, but JP Morgan, the Vanderbilts, all of them companies, they started through life insurance.
Wow.
It's called transfer of wealth. That's how they started, basically through life insurance.
Wow.
You know, and so we never really understood that game, but we have it. It's just where we want to be intentional at.
Yeah. Wow. Be intentional, y'all, man. Get y'all,
Yes.
And change your relationship with money, man. I'm telling you, once you do that and you start flipping your mind when it comes to money, it makes a world of a difference. It's made a world of a difference in my life. Now, I ain't saying I'm sitting on, Jay-Z money and all that kind of stuff, but I just feel better.
Yeah.
I don't feel the stress, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I could buy that soda. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I ain't making life decisions at the pump. You know what I mean?
You know what? I want the strawberry, but I haven't tasted root beer in a while.
Right.
You know what? I'm gonna get them both.
I'm gonna get them both.
I'm gonna get them both.
Exactly.
You know, and so that's what money does for you.
Yeah.
You know, and when your money is right, that's the type of stuff you do. Like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and get them both.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
and that's a beautiful feeling, man.
I love it, man.
That's a beautiful
I
feeling.
love it, man. I love the fact that you came in here and dropped this knowledge on us, man. And you know, it's good, man. I knew last year when we first met and introduced, and you dropped all that good knowledge. I was like, this dude, man. And then when you hit me, it's like, how about it was 2022? Let's get it. Absolutely.
Yes,
let's
sir.
Get it. Where can people find out more about you so they can get this information and knowledge?
Yeah, for the masses, if you want to hear a lot of the stuff I be talking about, man, follow me on IG, you know, at Richboy, RICHBOIJUP1.
And I want to say this. Really interested in caring how businesses operate internally.
Yes, Rich Boy, RICHBOI.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and we got to understand, again, it goes back to that internal part, that that internal. If you got to have all your internal stuff together in order for anything to manifest to where you need it to be.
Facts.
Internally is my foundation. So that I got to have, if I'm a business, I need to have my taxes done, my financials, because I need those things to go get other people money.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm in a relationship, I got to have it, my internal part, my infrastructure, my foundation. Anything we do is so important. So I just flipped it to a business side. Like, let's go from the inside out. Make sure, because we know a lot of people look like they doing great.
Yeah.
But they can't make no moves because they don't have no taxes filed. They don't have no financials.
Yeah.
They don't have business bank accounts, but they putting up Maseratis, you know, stepping in with designer bags and clothes, and you know, and so you got to change that infrastructure, though.
That's what's up. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming through and dropping.
Nah, brother, nah. Like I said, all this on our site, lbtaxservice.com. Go to the site, call the office if you have questions. Right now, we're in the midst of tax season, so call us. You know, call us, man. We would love it, though. So
that's what's up. It's your boy G Wade holding it down, kicking it alongside with my man Deacon.
Dirty.
Y'all know what it is. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy G Wade holding it down, and I want to thank you all for tuning into this episode of the G Wade podcast. Now, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell to stay up on all the latest videos and content that we post. And we just appreciate everything.
Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at G Wade Podcast. Till then.